This clip was taken from the series Asking for a Friend, What We All Think But Think We Shouldn't. The entire series can be found at fromthefray.com/asking.
Everything going on under the sun, really, it is all meaningless. It's like chasing the wind. What is wrong cannot be made right. What is missing cannot be recovered. Solomon's telling us there in verse 15 what we all know to be true, but we spend our lives pretending that it's not. The past cannot be changed. There's no use in worrying about how you might have done things differently. It's done is done. Can't be recovered. Under the sun is that third phrase that we'll return to over and over again. Solomon uses it 29 times to refer to life down here on earth, worldly speaking, a human point of view as you and I know it. And Solomon is telling us that life as you and I know it down here offers no hope, no resolution to how meaningless and monotonous our existence is down here. There's no glimmer of hope. There's no light at the end of the tunnel down here to make us feel better about where we are now, where we're going, or anything in our past. In fact, the more we find out, it just becomes this big anchor that we have to drag around as we drive our laps around the cul-de-sac. That's how things are under the sun with no hope in sight. But what about over the sun? Solomon spent his entire life feasting on everything under the sun, and at the end of his life, he realizes the key to enjoying anything under the sun is to view it from the other side. Listen to me, please. I'm not saying we've resolved everything today. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying learn from the memoirs of an old man who achieved everything we wished we could achieve. He'll prove it next week. And listen to what he has to say. Everything down here is meaningless. But over the sun, there might be something else to consider. Paul tells the church in Corinth, "So, my dear brothers and sisters, be strong and immovable, always work enthusiastically for the Lord." Stop for a minute and confess, I'm not always strong or immovable or enthusiastic. Solomon's fears and insecurities are my fears and insecurities. I wonder, like Solomon did, is there any point? Am I wasting my time here with what comes next? Is there any value to this? Why am I doing this? I don't see any of the fruit that I would like to see. Is there any progress? But you know what? At the end of the day, I believe in heaven. I really do. I believe there are more reasons to accept the God of the Bible and believe in the reality of heaven than there are reasons not to accept it. I think the math is in the favor of Christianity. But I still wonder, is there life before death? And for that reason, the last sentence of this verse intrigues me. Nothing you ever do for the Lord is useless? Nothing? You mean if I follow this, if I flesh this out, that despite my weaknesses and my insecurities and my history, my present, the stuff I'm worried about now, that somehow my work can produce something that is not meaningless or vain? If you don't have a view of the world that gives you some type of deep contentment, blessed assurance, if you don't have a view of the world that gives you meaningful answers to these questions that Solomon raised, may I ask, plead that you stick with us as we follow this book, because I think Ecclesiastes is the book for you. It leads us to a God who says this: "The thief comes only to kill and destroy. I come that they may have life and have it abundantly." Amen.